According to China state media reports, on February 25th of 2021, when the Chinese Communist Party leader Xi Jinping attended the National Poverty Alleviation Summary and Commendation Conference, he announced that China has scored a complete victory in its fight against poverty by lifting over 98.99 million rural people and 128,000 poor villages out of poverty. He claims it to be another miracle created by the country that will go down in history.
创造了又一个彪炳史册的人间奇迹。
However, according to internationally recognized standards, the Chinese government's announcement of China's poverty eradication has a huge gap with international standards. In 2018, World Bank recommended using 5.5 USD per day as benchmarks to assess poverty in China and other low to middle and upper middle income countries. However, according to Liu Yongfu, director of the State Council Leading Group Office of Poverty Alleviation, China's basic standard for poverty alleviation as of 2020 is a per capita annual income of about 4,000 yuan, or about 1.7 USD a day. Chinese Premier Li Keqiang answered pre-approved questions from foreign and domestic media during a press conference after the closing of the third session of the 13th National People's Congress on May 28, 2020. When asked about poverty alleviation tasks, he said,
有6亿人每个月的收入也就是1000元，1000元在一个中等城市可能租房都困难。
Xi Jinping became irritated of Li Keqiang because he exposed the actual living standards of the Chinese people and tried to embarrass the premier in public. We have a video showing this scene, titled Chinese Premier in an Awkward Situation, and you can watch it here if you're interested. As the premier said, the income is only 1,000 yuan. However, that's still not accurate. Strictly speaking, it should be 600 million people with an income of less than 1,000 yuan. According to surveys conducted by a research institute of Beijing Normal University, the results show that 39.1% of the population in China has a monthly income of less than 1,000 yuan, which means there are currently 547 million people with a monthly income of less than 1,000 yuan. The total population of less than 1,090 yuan is 600 million, accounting for 42.85% of the total population in China. Among these 600 million people, 5.46 million have no income. 220 million people have a monthly income of less than 500 yuan, and 420 million people have a monthly income of less than 800 yuan. If the low and middle income classes are defined by the standard of 1,090 to 2,000 yuan, the total population of this group will reach 364 million. In total, China has a population of 964 million people with a monthly income of less than 2,000 yuan. In other words, even according to the CCP's standard measurement, that is, the per capita annual income is about 4,000 yuan, which is about 1.7 USD a day, China still has a serious poverty problem. However, the Chinese Communist Party still proudly declares to the world that it has been lifted out of poverty. Compared with the standards of America, the living conditions of the Chinese people is even more apparent. Every year, the United States announces to the world the poverty situation in its own country. According to data from the U.S. Census Bureau and the Bureau of Labor Statistics in 2019, before the coronavirus pandemic exploded across the United States, the poverty rate was 10.5%, which was still 34 million people. The latest report, released by Columbia University last year, stated that since May of 2020, after being affected by the pandemic, the actual poor population in the United States was almost 40 million. According to the latest survey by the U.S. Census Bureau, in 2020, the poverty threshold in the United States for a single person was an annual income of $12,760, equivalent to around 84,000 yuan, and the threshold for a family of 4 was $26,200, equivalent to around 170,000 yuan. The extremely poor population in the United States refers to those whose income level is below 50% of the above-mentioned poverty line. In addition, according to a 2018 report by the Heritage Foundation, The number of extremely poor people who truly fall under American standards is 1.5 million. China, the world's second largest economy, announced to the world that it had lifted out of poverty, while the world's largest economy, the United States, announced its massive poor population to the world. Comparing the poverty standards of the two countries, it is revealed that the living standards of the people that have been lifted out of poverty in China is still far below those who are still considered extremely poor in the United States. So why does Xi Jinping claim that China has completely eliminated poverty? The leaders of the Communist Party of China need to consolidate power and win a power struggle by a show of political achievements. To obtain political achievements in the most convenient and quickest way possible, statistics and figures must be modified in order to demonstrate their success. In order to highlight the great achievements of the CCP's top leaders, the media at all levels in China have taken action to shoot moving propaganda films for this great achievement across the country. Some propaganda videos focused on how the party leadership cares about poor households. However, it is not very difficult to see through these thinly veiled lies. For example, this picture shows an article sent by a municipal government in Shandong province of China. The title is "Visiting Needy Households During the Spring Festival Warms the Heart." However, this poor household actually displayed various luxury goods. One example is a kind of liquor called Maotai. A 750 milliliter Maotai is approximately 400 USD. Can you imagine that a family with an income of less than 400 USD a year has such expensive liquor? There are also precious plants like the clivia and even treadmills. Looking at this poor household in Jiangxi province, the European-style decorations seem quite luxurious. Are they really poor households? Or is it because they are relatives of government officials and simply faked their status as a poor household? For people living at the bottom economic class of China, their lives are full of bitterness. Perhaps there are too many sufferings in life, and not all poor households are willing to cooperate with government personnel to play a role on TV.
有啥做的？捡个东西，这个那个东西拿着谁砸谁呢？那个东西拿着谁砸谁呢？啊？就赶紧走。有啥的？赶紧自己走。有啥做的？你赶紧自己走。我不要这个东西。啊，你让你随便走。啊，你那边说，你那车上又给打完了呗？好。哎，我那个东西我随便我不要这东西。不叫那个破东西拿来给我使。因为啥呀？这是？咋做的？拿西边整那天家。
I don't know how many people would believe Xi Jinping's announcement that China has lifted out of poverty. Many middle-aged and elderly people remember that time when the CCP declared that it would produce more than 100,000 caddies of grain per mu of land, but ended up starving 40 million people. For them, maybe everything that happened today is just history repeating itself. If you choose to believe it, you may not have experienced enough.